the value of sharing your story. I remember when I was in 4th grade, I had a storytelling session where we would talk about fantasy worlds that I could only imagine. We would also talk about humans that had lived before us or were alive to that very day. I particularly remember Helen Keller's story. I could not believe that she has lost her sight and ability to hear at such a young age. And she experienced the world in a completely different way than I did. This allowed me to expand my imagination and indulge in an infinite world of knowledge. At this point in life, I am graduating high school, and I have met hundreds of humans with different backgrounds and different stories. And they have all taught me one thing. Every single one of us has their own story, and every story has its value. It is not a secret that the global pandemic has impacted each and every single one of us in a different way. It has made us go through extremely difficult times. In my case, in July of 2020, I had to go through one of the hardest times in my life. My aunt had contracted COVID-19. On July 10th of 2020, she unfortunately passed away. The process of dealing with grief was extremely hard, since not only I wasn't able to spend time with my friends and family, I felt completely isolated and alone. As a result of the process of grief, in order to comprehend the way that I felt, I had to go through multiple steps. I found myself to be stuck at home, feeling hopeless. However, I decided that I had to get a grip on myself. I could not drown in sorrow. I actually found that hearing other people's stories made me feel much better. I could relate to the way that they were feeling. And since the global pandemic impacts us all, it is something that the world was living with me. At last, despite being isolated from the world, I did not feel alone. I cherished the moments that I was able to spend with her, and she was an amazing woman, and I'm extremely grateful to have had her in my life. Her departure was an inspiration. Despite the sadness that I felt, I was able to inspire myself and create a story network of my own, called the Bittersweet Project, where other people could share their stories and feel connected to others despite being alone. This project had 3 main objectives: start a conversation, reflect and share experiences, and build a resilient community. This project was made inside of my academic community, and it allowed me to meet multiple students and staff and go further with them. The name of the project, Bittersweet, was inspired by the song The Bittersweet Symphony by The Verb. It was inspired by how I was feeling at the time. The global pandemic made me feel bittersweet. There were moments that I am extremely grateful for that I have gone through during the global pandemic, but there are also those that I wish I hadn't gone through. Despite the negative impact and consequences that this has had, I believe that this is a crucial moment in history. We cannot physically feel connections. And perhaps this is one of the ways in which we can partially replenish this physical connection we crave so much as social beings. Sharing experiences is extremely important. And through the creation and development of this project, I was able to get to know my professors at a deeper level, and also other students at the school that had gone through experiences that I did not imagine they had gone through. We were able to get to the core of what being a human being means, and help each other by sharing the experiences that we have all gone through. With the help of my school community, I was able to launch the first couple of videos and share with others my story, and other staff and students share their stories as well. Every moment that I have gone through has been bittersweet. And sharing my own story can perhaps impact your own. By sharing our experiences, we are able to trust each other. It connects us on a much deeper level. We inspire each other to go beyond the status quo. And sharing and listening stories from Helen Keller to you hearing my story today, we are able to create connections. and creating connections with other human beings is truly remarkable. We all have our own stories, and every single one of us has something to say. So today, I want to ask you, how will you share your story? Thank you.